Oh. Thank you. I would like to call this Tuesday, March 17th, special called emergency meeting to order. And given the circumstances, I would like the two chiefs to lead us in the pledge, please. Thank you, Chiefs, and I would also like to thank you right now for leading us in our first responder effort. We thank you very much. We realize that you all have trained your entire lives for such an event, and you were hoping we would never see this event. However, we are seeing it, and I will tell the citizens of Roswell that we are not in more capable hands than you all. So thank you all very much. Thank you for putting yourselves in harm's way. We certainly do appreciate it, and I know that the citizens of Roswell appreciate it. And the only item on the agenda tonight is the approval of a resolution proclaiming that an emergency situation exists within the city of Roswell. And I will hand this over to Mr. Davidson to read it and opine on it.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a resolution under Section Charter 2.2.0, subsection 9 of the Charter of the City of Roswell, Georgia, to provide for the operation of the City of Roswell, Georgia, during the public emergency due to the coronavirus pandemic, to provide for an effective date and for other purposes. Whereas Section Charter 2.20, subsection 9 of the Charter of the City of Roswell, Georgia, empowers the Mayor and Council to adopt an emergency resolution to meet public emergency affecting life, health, property, or public peace, and whereas the coronavirus global pandemic is a public emergency affecting and threatening life, health, property, and public peace, therefore, to accomplish the foregoing, the Mayor and Council of the City of Roswell, pursuant to their authority, do hereby adopt the following resolution. The Mayor and Council of the City of Roswell, Georgia, hereby declare that an emergency affecting life, health, property, and public peace exists within the City of Roswell, Georgia, due to the coronavirus global pandemic. The following provisions shall govern the operation of the city during the pandemic. The operation of essential services, including but not limited to those related to public safety, and is otherwise determined now or hereafter by the mayor and/or city administrator, after advising the city council, shall continue during the COVID-19 pandemic. And all public hearings or meetings of the city council or any inferior board, committee, or commission of the city shall be and are hereby stayed, tolled, and postponed until this resolution is repealed or expires. All votes of the council permitted, allowed, or required under the Charter of the City of Roswell, Georgia, or the Code of the City of Roswell, Georgia, may be conducted in absentia by teleconference in accordance with the state law without any meeting formalities. And four or more members of City Council participating in a teleconference shall constitute a quorum and shall be authorized to transact any emergency business of the City Council. The Mayor of the City of Roswell shall be empowered to effectuate any vote conducted in accordance with this resolution. The City Administrator is authorized under Section 2.3.6 of the Roswell Code of Ordinances to award contracts and make purchases for the purpose of meeting this pandemic, provided said code section is followed. And all ordinances not directly affected by this resolution shall remain in full effect within the city, including all emergency management services. Basically, this is the City Council acknowledging that there is an emergency situation existing in the city. This provides for the council to be able to have council meetings by teleconference. We still obviously will have to follow the state law regarding those meetings, which is set forth in here. It also gives the city administrator to make necessary contracts and purchases to address any of the necessary requirements to meet this pandemic. It does not affect any of the other ordinances not mentioned in here, and that would include the emergency management services provisions in our city code.
Does council have any questions? Councilmember Zapata.
Thank you, Mayor. So, a couple of things regarding point number 2, letter number F. So, are we limiting this to any particular department, like public safety, or is across the board of all the departments in the city of Roswell?
Mr. Davidson.
This would be any purchase or contract necessary to address this pandemic. It could be anything. It's not necessarily for the fire department and police department.
And the point of this is because I understand public safety and other, maybe some other department, but all departments across the board, I don't know why to give this authority, across the board with all the departments. I think that is too wide of giving up the responsibility of mayor and council. So I don't know if we can limit this somehow and make sure that mayor and council eventually will have a say on this aspect.
So this could affect any department. This could affect public works. Sanitation workers could go out. We might need to hire temporary workers immediately. This could happen. Rec and parks, we might need to close facilities, have them, cleaned in a certain way. We don't know what's going to happen. This just authorizes him, as long as he's providing notice to the council as provided in the code. It's already addressed in the code. The council will be notified. The mayor and myself will also be able to chime in if we're available, which hopefully we will be. So it's only to address the pandemic, though. So he's not going to be authorized to go buy playground equipment. This is simply to address the pandemic.
Additional questions from council? Councilmember Tizer.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Davidson, is this section that is being questioned consistent with the handling of same in the cities around us?
Mr. Davidson. Thank you, Mayor. From my knowledge, this is fairly accurate across the board. Our code specifically provides for this in section 2.3.6. It's already provided for. There is an emergency as declared by the president and the governor if y'all pass this resolution. So it's my opinion that it is already provided for in the code. It's a formality.
Thank you, Mr. Davidson. Councilmember Palermo.
Thank you, Mayor Henry. So, and Mayor Henry, I'll have probably 2 confirmations from Mr. Davidson. I think he's comfortable with it.
Michael, can you turn on your mic?
Thank you. So, Mayor Henry, I'll just want to get some clarification from Mr. Davidson for him to reiterate what I believe he stated, which is my understanding. I do want to state that I fully support the intent of this resolution. I do believe it's an emergency situation and want to make sure that we are taking this seriously. So, Mr. Davidson, the 2 things that I would just want to make sure that I'm crystal clear on is one, in your recent response regarding F, it's only for purposes of meeting this pandemic. So any purchases that are not to immediately and directly address this pandemic would have to go through our normal processes with council vote. Is that accurate?
Mr. Davidson.
Other than what the city administrators already authorized to up to $75,000 on certain purchases under our purchasing ordinance, yes, anything else other than that would have to come to council.
Great, thank you. And then my other one, which I think you addressed when you first started reading through it, which is for section C, you mentioned following, that of course we need to follow Georgia law and all of that with the meetings. So it's my understanding that there would be the requirement for these meetings to be advertised and for these meetings to have the opportunity for residents to listen in and record it as well. Is that accurate, Mr. Davidson?
Mr. Davidson.
Thank you. Yes, the state law says that you can do it by teleconference so long as notice is provided and the public is afforded an opportunity to have simultaneous access to the teleconference meeting.
Thank you.
Councilmember Judy.
Mayor, thank you for bringing this forward this evening. It's a very serious situation. At this point, I think we trust our staff, which has been doing an amazing job in a very fluid situation, and y'all's leadership, and I think we should pass this immediately so we can address the needs of the city.
Thank you, Councilmember Judy. Additional comments, questions from council? Is there anyone in the public that would like to come forward and speak? Let me say this, and excuse me for repeating myself, but this has been a very difficult time for us, and staff will tell you the meetings are constant, the information is changing on an hourly and less than that basis, and the things that we thought might be the case on Friday are not the case today. So that will continue to change. We will continue to get out information to the public, our business community. We've got some economic impacts from this that will affect our business community, and we need to get that information out as well because the feds are coming in and the state of Georgia with some things that might help our business community. And let me also say this, that there has been some talk out there that we're going to close businesses or restaurants, whatever the case may be. We are not doing that at this time. Our first responders are suggesting that we look at all of the CDC requirements, and that is what we are asking our citizens to do, and we are asking our citizens to respect that. And let me tell you that I think that we are in a very fortunate situation in the city of Roswell in that, and I say this very often, that we've got highly dedicated, intelligent, articulate people that are willing to volunteer their time in the city. I can't tell you how many phone calls I've received, and I've got my assistant looking at those offers for various nonprofits, various groups, various HOAs that are willing to step in and help in any way they can. So we are keeping a spreadsheet on that. Of course, we don't want to put anyone in harm's way. And also we've got our fire department, our police department that are really carrying the heavy load on this. So we thank them very much. But I would like to tell the citizens of Roswell that we're not in a good position. No one is in a good position at this point in time. But we are very fortunate here in Roswell because we've got such a high-level professional staff as well as our engaged citizens. So I think that we are truly in a good position as far as maybe some of our other communities in Georgia. So we are looking to the governor, we're looking to the president for their guidance, but then when it comes down to Roswell, like I said, this is a fluid document, so anything that we feel needs to come forward, changes need to be made, anything that needs to come forward to the citizens, we will be here to provide that. And once again, I am asking the citizens of Roswell to take care of yourselves, take care of your families. We will take care of the city of Roswell, and we will meet you on the other end of this, and we will plan for the city's future. So I feel that we've got everything in place that we need to have in place. Are there any other comments from council? Do I have a motion? Oh,
Yes, I would like to make, first of all, I'd like to thank the mayor and the city administrator and staff for the work that you have done over the past few days. And just as the elected officials and staff, it's, we're here to serve and protect the residents. And with that, I would like to make a motion to pass the resolution.
We have a motion by Councilmember Wilsey. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Tizer. All those in favor, please raise your hands. And it passes unanimously. Thank you all very much. This meeting is adjourned. And City Hall is closed for your health, safety, and welfare.